What's going on, guys? It's Brandon. So I figured I'd make a video for you here. It's been a minute since I made a good video about cars. I got the Cadillac racing shirt on. I'm not in the Corvette right now. I got the big cargo van. I guess I'll start out this video with if you're going to sell tires on the groups and say, hey guys, I'm about to throw my tires away. And if anybody wants these, $400 or best offer. And then I pipe up and say, I'll give you $200 for them because there's some used tires. I'll give you 200 and I'll be by within a week to pick them up. I'll drive up 77 through Charlotte all the time. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Great. Message me. Good. We messaged each other. Okay, cool. Then I messaged the guy when I'm in Charlotte. Oh, I decided to keep them. Decided to keep my tires. And then I'm like, you decide to tell me now when I'm in Charlotte with a cargo van instead of a Corvette? Fine, come get them. Okay, well, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just trying to be real with you here, man. So then I have a conversation with the guy, and then he goes back to, I'm just going to keep them. It's like, anyway, I mean, can you imagine if I did that to somebody in one of these Corvette groups, like dick them over? There's a reason why I'm an asshole, and it's because people are flakes, man. People are a joke. So anyway, okay, so with that said, what else is this video about? Okay, Rob Ferretti just put up a good video recently about the hypercars and how they don't sound great anymore. I was next to a Lamborghini Rev Welto the other day, and the guy didn't know how to rev up his own fucking car. Couldn't get it to rev up. It's like a V12 fucking Lamborghini. Why is it hard to make a V12 Lamborghini sound like a V12 Lamborghini? You know what I mean? So the auto manufacturers are definitely missing the mark. Now, General Motors did a good job with the Z06, obviously, with the engine and everything. It's horrible on fuel. Why General Motors hasn't realized that you need the electric motor spliced into the DCT track, so you have a naturally aspirated Z06 with an electric motor on there. But frankly, they don't want to do that because they're like, we can already break the tires loose with the Z06, right? So, but that's what I'm saying. That's where you should go. You should go naturally aspirated and then add electric to that. But neither here nor there. It is what it is. So I was going to make that exact video that Rob Ferretti just made. So I was like, cool, breath of fresh air, guy who gets it. Because I saw that Rev Welto the other day and I just wasn't impressed. I was like, I'd rather have an SVJ or an SV, but probably an SVJ. And SVJs are mechanical all-wheel drive, okay? See, so anyway, the Z06, so my car is, it was ruled a lemon by the Better Business Bureau, which is who you're supposed to go through up front before you take General Motors to a courtroom. And then the Better Business Bureau arbitrator, there goes a Supra. Here's the Turbo Supra. So anyway, the arbitrator with the Better Business Bureau, I asked him, I said, can you give me details of like how you're going to rule on the little add-on things like the clear wrap and the extended warranties and gap insurance and all these different things? How does that work with the replacement? Are you going to make sure I have all those things on my next car? How does that work on the repurchase? Can you give me a breakdown of both? The guy didn't give me a breakdown. He just chose replacement, which is where you get he chose repurchase, where you get your money back. And he didn't even list all the other things as that. So then General Motors doesn't have their feet held to the fire. So it's just, because I've already fought with General Motors in the past about, these things. So neither here nor there. So that's that. Meanwhile, let's give you an update on the smoking gun car. If you guys watch my channel, you know about the smoking gun car, which is the car that has the EDIV glitch, where it glitches very, very often, okay? And check engine lights come on it all the time. The guy literally left his car at the shop for since that video was up. The car's been there for 2.5 months, guys. And guess what? General Motors sent the engineer out the first time like right out of the gate. But guess what? The GM engineer never came back because I made that video, and General Motors thinks they can go pout now and play baby and say, well, we're just not going to fix this car then if Brandon's going to make videos. That's fine. You guys are going to be buying the guy's car back. So the guy even sent General Motors via the dealership emails, because the guys at GM wouldn't give the customer their email. He's like, I want to send you an email. Can I get your email? No, they wouldn't give it to him. So he had the dealership send across some emails to General Motors that basically say, if this is your final repair attempt, just as you were already informed via the certified letters. He sent 2 of them. And he basically says, if you guys don't work on this car, you're forfeiting your opportunity. And then if the car breaks again, it's officially a lemon. And General Motors basically didn't even respond to the dealership. Imagine buying a $150,000 car and General Motors doesn't even respond. And then the dealership, who the guy and myself don't have a trouble with, we don't have trouble with the dealership. Like, we're not here to make the dealership look bad. I stopped at the dealership one day. The dealership refused to sell me a carbon fiber wheel through the parts department. I needed a carbon fiber wheel. They refused to even try to find me one or do anything. They said, no, we don't want your business, because they saw, well, 2 things. The service manager over there now is from the Jake Sweeney store. Okay. Now, for those of you who follow my channel long enough, the Jake Sweeney Chevrolet is the store where my C7Z06 got stolen from, and I got into all kinds of shit with them, right? So this guy knows who I am, but am I really a bad guy? My car got stolen from inside your service department, torn up, almost totaled, probably totaled, who knows? And took me a year to... when you have a totaled vehicle, the insurance company and or the dealership it was stolen from are supposed to give you an estimate, an initial estimate on the repair. They were trying to keep it secret from me. I got this all documented, and it's against the law, guys, to not give a customer an estimate on the repair. So they didn't give me an estimate literally for over a year. And they said, well, take your car and take it to another body shop. Other body shops wouldn't repair the car without the estimate. You have to have an initial estimate for any body shop in this town of Cincinnati. So let's just run through this. McCluskey, their body shop, and they didn't do anything wrong, but they're like, Brandon, we can't accept the car unless you have an initial estimate. Otherwise, we can't. This is crazy. Why can't you get an initial estimate? So I went through them and then 2 other body shops. And finally, I let it go for so long that the guy who was handling the stuff at Sweeney, I think he just isn't that smart, and he forgot that the estimate was like a secret. And so after like a year went by, I hit them and hit Zurich, their insurance, back up, and was like, hey, want to come get the car, want to take it over to this body shop, blah, blah, blah. And then just as a big, matter of fact, hey, do you have the initial estimate? Yeah, here you go. The initial estimate was done originally when the car first was stolen. They did an estimate on it. They kept it secret from me. It's against the law. Okay, I mean, it's literally against the fucking law, guys. So this is going to get juicy here in a minute, probably, because it's just a big shit show. But the point is, where was I going with all that stuff? Okay, so this other dealership, who's a good dealership, I'm not going to say their name because I'm not trying to talk shit about them, where the guy with the smoking gun guard takes his car. He bought his car there. I've bought a car there before. I actually passed, like I said, my spot to him so he could go first, and otherwise I would have owned that car, the smoking gun car that's glitching all the time, and I'd probably be in the woods somewhere off the mountain in North Carolina. But the point is, They made and I'm not going to say the dealership's name, so they'd have no reason to get pissy with me right now. But I'm just going to be real here. They made a snide remark to him, don't expect to buy any more cars here. And he tells me that. And I'm like, they did the same thing to me. They said I couldn't buy a wheel from their service department. So, it's our safeties. And I get it. Maybe you guys can't afford $150,000 cars, or maybe when you do, you just want to rev them up when you drive through the parking lot. But some of us actually like to drive our cars fast And some of us have a guilty conscience to resell the car to somebody else if it has a problem. So when you got a car that's glitched like 6 times in under 2,000 miles, that's a problem, guys. That's what we call a lemon. It's not something to throw a fit about. It's not something to be ashamed about if you're the dealership. General Motors produced a fucking lemon. Grow up. It's a lemon. So anyway, General Motors must have gotten really mad at that dealership and thrown it back in their face that they did something wrong or something, because this dealership's now treating us like we're no longer even welcome when we're bringing them business. Okay. I'm trying to buy a carbon fiber wheel where there's $1,000 markup on the fucking wheel, and these guys won't even sell me a wheel across the parts counter. It's like, what the hell is going on? So I even told them I'd have the wheel mounted and balanced at another shop. I volunteered that right out of the gate. I was like, I know they're a bitch to mount to these wheels. I got a shop that'll do it. I just need to buy the wheel from you, because obviously this other fancy shop that can do the wheel, they're not a Chevrolet store. They said no. So all because I made that video about the smoking gun car and ripped General Motors a new one in that video. So so when my lemon goes back, wait a minute, let me back up. So there was a guy who commented, I appreciate the good, respectful comments. I forget the guy's name. I apologize. I'm getting old. Guy comments on one of the driving videos where the, anonymous driver's just driving the C8Z06 around. He's like, I like the old channel better. I like the content of the old channel better, where you're a little bit more outspoken. I like the stuff you used to talk about in the old channel more, and I like the driving that you did in the old channel more. Well, let me clear a few things up for you guys. It's very valid concerns. I'm very bored with this channel as well, to be blunt with you. One, myself, the anonymous driver, and these other people, none of us feel comfortable taking these cars to 95 to 99% of capability anymore, because we know that the e-diffs glitch. Okay, we know that they do it. So it's like, okay, well, if the e-diff's going to glitch, why would I want to risk my life? So, the videos you're going to see from now on, as long as it's an e-diff car, e-diff Chevrolet product, General Motors product, whether it's a Cadillac, whether it's a C8Z06, whether it's a Z51, any of these e-diff cars, you're probably not going to see the anonymous driver driving like he used to drive anymore, because, he realizes, I realize, we just realize it's just not worth our life. And so after the Z06 goes back, which has, like over 45,000 miles on it now almost, after the C8Z06 goes back, I'll go back down to a non-Z51, and I'm going to invent the cooling system and the filtration system for the DCT and mechanical diff on the non-Z51. And so once we have that, hypothetically, down the road, it would be possible, first and foremost, to take the car to the racetrack so that it'll destroy a Z51, no problem. Second thing that we'll be able to do is, when they're on apples-to-apples tires and apples-to-apples brakes, the second thing we're going to be able to do is, down the road, I realize that this product that I'm going to make is, I'm going to be able to patent it, and it's going to be very exclusive. The way that Singer does Porsches, or RUF Roof does Porsches, or any of these guys, I'm going to do the same thing with Corvettes, and it's going to be the car that General Motors failed to build, and I've been threatening it for 5 years now. We're going to do it, and and I apologize it's taken me so long, guys. I've just been I don't know. So been trying to give the Z06 a chance, and the Z06 engine's fantastic. They did a great job on the computer program on stuff, but the problem is when it glitches, and you can't control when it glitches and when it doesn't. It's just not worth our life. So it's just not fun anymore. What's the point of a fucking sports car if it's not fun? Ferrari hit the nail on the head when they said fun to drive, and when they did the 296 GTB. So the ZR1, I don't even have any interest in the car. It's going to be worse than the Z06. I'd rather have the Z06 than the ZR1. I still believe that the ZR1 is going to be a different car than what you've been seeing. I still think there's more to the puzzle. I think there's still a Grand Sport coming. I think the General Motors hates me with a fucking passion, that I can just see through all their bullshit. see through their EDIF laws, see through their fucking marketing lies, if there are. Not saying that there are, but if there are, you know, I'm just not impressed. And once this new mechanical diff Z06, or excuse me, mechanical diff non-Z51 with a proper cooling system so it can be taken to the track is done, then we're going to be able to build something really cool one day. And where my mind is the and I got to talk to some people inside Tremec and ask them a question I just thought about. The Z06 motor, by nature, they have it up higher because they have the oil cooler underneath it. I would splice in and I'd lower the engine down to the ground. Not down to the ground, but down much lower. We'd create new engine mounts and we'd lower the engine on down. But in doing so, that's going to tilt the transmission forward. I got to talk to my guys inside Tremec and ask them if the transmission can be tilted forward or if that's going to cause a fluid starvation situation. Probably will. Anyway, where the sump pickup is on the DCT, so I just got to talk to them. Note to self. And then the other thing is I got to if you took a Z06 motor, since we can tune the Stingrays, you could go out, you could buy a non-Z51 Stingray so you get the mechanical diff transmission, and you could hypothetically drop like a Motec style Z06 LT6 in there, and if you do that, you would have a Z06 killer. Okay, in certain aspects. 0 to 60, probably not. Because why? Because the mechanical diff. But as far as having a car that's really fun to drive, that would be the car. And then our cooling system is going to bring the cooling down on the whole thing drastically. So then you can add the front end of the car like the Z06 has and everything, or better yet, the ZR1 front end or Grand Sport front end with the air pass through. If there is a Grand Sport, okay. But anyway, so just wanted to be clear here, guys. I haven't given up on this stuff. I know the channel's gotten pretty lame. I know I've been talking about stuff that may as well be speaking Chinese to most people when I'm talking about, physics and different things like that. But I've decided I'm going to get my expenses way down, and I'm going to get these patents done. It's like Beethoven's fifth or whatever it is symphony. When I tell you I have over 1,000 pages of detailed diagrams, I'm not playing, and they're very important stuff. And I was always scared to turn it in, because if you don't organize it properly and you turn it in, they'll just kick it right back. They'll deny it. They'll say it's not organized right. Because organizing a patent, everything's got to be numbered in a certain chronological order. So I really want to get that done and get turned in. And I think if I get my expenses low enough, I think I can make it just by doing options trading, because I was really killing it in options like the last couple months, and then made a couple big mistakes, and they're weird mistakes. And I'm actually glad I made them, because it really made me self-reflect. Instead of be like, oh, I suck at trading stocks. Instead, I self-reflected, because it was such a bizarre situation, because I actually called the stock move correctly. Like in my mind, when I saw what the graph was going to do and predicted what the graph was going to do, it did it to a T, like what I thought it was going to do. And I still somehow fucked it up. There was like a roof of a house. It went up and it came down, and I knew it was going to do that throughout the day, and somehow I fucked it up. Both ways I fucked it up. And that's when I just was like, that's a sign. God hates me. I'm not, and I really, because I really am like in this mode where it's like, I'm trying to release these patents. What am I supposed to be doing? Universe hates me. And I really step back, and it's like, what am I supposed to be doing? but at least it's, I have that communication again. I think I told you when I made a bunch of money, it like vanished. And there's a lot more to that I haven't explained in the videos, but I almost feel like, you know, when you got somebody who begs you and begs you and begs you for help, and then all of a sudden you finally say, okay, you know, here's money for whatever. Are they still your friend, or are they, ta-da, I'm going to go do my thing now. You know, and you never hear from them again. So that was kind of like where I was. I was like, am I being like tested right now or something? But neither here nor there. I don't want to get into all that shit right now, but I appreciate the respectful comments. I appreciate people who can have intelligent conversations and say, hey man, I like this about your channel. I don't like this about this channel. Just, you know, honest stuff. And 9 times out of 10, I'm going to agree with you. I know that the previous videos are better. And luckily, on my, what do you call it? The memory cards that have been sent in and different things like that, I've got a lot of the old videos from before. So once in a blue moon, I'll just keep uploading the older videos as well. And even after I get the C8 non-Z51 again, I'll keep uploading the videos. You know, I could step up to the Lamborghini, what do you call it, STO or Technica. But for right now, I just want to get these patents done. And then after that, I really appreciate those of you who watch my stuff, even those of you who hate my shit and you still watch. I appreciate it. I don't have a lot of viewers. I don't want a lot of viewers. Once I release these patents, it's going to be something else, guys. You have no concept what I've been sitting on for 20 years. The world's going to take a step back and say, so let me get this straight. This guy's had this invented for 20 years, 10 years, respectively. Google, Microsoft, Alibaba, Amazon, Musk, Oracle, NASA, BlackRock, Lockheed. None of you guys could invent this before this dude. And you guys all have these multi-million-dollar teams, multi-billion-dollar teams of people. You're paying all this money. So I know I'm arrogant as hell, but once you guys see what I've actually done in my life already and what it is that I've been waiting to release, and a lot of it was I knew that I was going to be thrust into the public spotlight. One of the things I want to tell you guys, when I was a little kid, I showed you the video, or in one of the previous videos, I show where when I was a real little kid and I used to go get babysat by my mom's sister, who again I spoke to the other day for like 4 hours. We chatted for a long time because she lives out west now. I never talked to her, and we chatted for like 4 hours, and just about stuff. But long story short, she most of it was me blabbing away about my patents and stuff. But her husband or ex-husband, whatever it is, he's actually the one who invented he and his dad they had the patents on check yourself out at the grocery store. And that's the stock that my mom and I invested in when I was with my mom and she was a single mom, divorced from my stepdad the first time. My mom and I invested in that stock. We put $2,000 in it and it turned into like $500,000. And then I think I told you some of my great grandparents worked at the Pentagon, so high up they couldn't even tell us what he did and everything, and really high up. And so we got some interesting people in our family and a lot of entrepreneurs, self-made people. But what was I going to say? Where was I going with that? I was going to say something about when I was a little kid, I used to watch Cannonball Run all the time. I used to watch Dukes of Hazzard. I used to watch Knight Rider, A-Team, you know, anything with a fast car. And the moral is usually you got to go fast if you're the good guy, if you're the hero. And it was always my life goal to get wealthy enough and be recognized as a good enough driver to where the world would just say, hey, that's Brandon. You know, like that's Jeff Gordon, that's Dale Earnhardt, that's whoever. Don't give him a speeding ticket. Come on, he's going, okay, so he's going 100 20 down the highway. Who cares? He drives 200 every day at the race. That was always my goal. It wasn't to race to race. I mean, don't get me wrong, everybody dreams of being number one. It was to get so fucking famous, like The Rock, you know, like where you're a wrestler, but then you become like a movie star. It was to get so damn famous that people would just say, leave him be, let him go fast. He outran more cops in his life than you could ever imagine. It's better not to chase him because it makes him go faster if you chase him. That's where I wanted to get to, is just have like a special license plate that was just like a logo, and everybody just knew it was me, and I could just drive as fast as I want. And you probably heard the story about the guy who had his own private island, and he ends up getting arrested and gets a speeding ticket on his own private island for speeding, and that he owns the fucking island. And it really just makes you realize that the glass is always half full. The last 4 or 5 years, I have sped around this country, and don't get me wrong, I've been doing it my whole life, but the last 4 or 5 years in these C8s and my c7z, this is me just kind of thanking the universe right now, because I have had a really good run, like a really good run. Knock on wood, everybody's been safe. You know, I know the possibility is someone could get hurt. I could get hurt. The bear thing that happened, I could have gotten decapitated when I went underneath that guardrail. These E-diff glitches, I could have spun off the mountain a million times because I love driving through the mountains. I found so many roads that I never thought that I would have the gas money and time to find. And I want to tell you guys, if you dream hard enough and you live a good life, like be a good person. I know it's like, yeah, right, bullshit. Understand, every day I try to be a good person. And you say, no, Brandon, you're rude and obnoxious. I'm rude and obnoxious to rude and obnoxious people. I'm not going to sit here and kiss people's asses who are pieces of shit. Okay? And, but the point is, I genuinely believe your dreams will come true. And, while it was going on, I remember thinking to myself, this is like what I always wanted to do. And now, don't get me wrong, we'll still go for drives. There'll be a lot of old footage. I really want to just work on the patent like all the time. Healthy diet, sweet potatoes, asparagus, whole chickens from the grocery store that are rotisserie chickens, mushrooms, turmeric, and some, blackberries or some grapefruit, some strawberries. Kind of tone it down though. I really want to keep my diet right, because my mom's side of the family, who has the fair skin, which is where I get that from, my mom's mom died of cancer. My mom has skin cancer, and probably, it's sad to say, probably brain cancer, because she's anyway. And then her sister, it just kind of runs in the family, and I'm that coloring. So I've had little black spots already, like little black freckles, and then if I eat right, my body can kill them. So anyway, just big video right there. I'm gonna stay closer to where I can get, like where I'm gonna work on the patents. I'm not too far away from where the guys are who are going to help me manufacture the cooler brick for the transmission. The cooler brick adapter. You'll see what I'm talking about soon. But I got to get a non-Z51 first. All right, guys, have a good night. I appreciate you. See ya.